Hi ho, everybody, and welcome to the Kingdom Compass podcast, where we point to you towards the goods and bads of all things Disney and other stuff now. I'm one of your hosts, Griffey D. Patton. With me, as always, is the wonderful, the amazing Mr. Mitch George. How are you doing today?
Other stuff is an understatement. I haven't slept. I've been racking my brain. I have been tossing and turning and spending far too much time in front of a television screen because we're about to have a conversation. Also, I found a Snoopy hat in the store today and it was great. So
I do love this hat.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I love that we have very different vibes of you and your Snoopy hat and my horror shirt.
I was wearing a green shirt today and I saw this hat in the store. I'm like, I could use a green Snoopy hat.
It honestly fits very well together.
Right? I actually color coordinated. That doesn't happen very often, but this is a very, very special occasion. So I had to suit up.
Yes, folks. Today we are talking about probably one of the hardest topics we've ever had to do. 5 movies to get to know us. This is going to be a fun one. I feel like we see these trends happen around like the internet every once in a while. Of, oh, hey, the last one I saw was like 5 games to get to know you.
Yeah, it's like the 4 boxes on your social media platform of choice, like games, movies, TV, whatever. And we figured, hey, why not make a podcast out of it?
Yeah, Mitch was insane when he first pitched this idea and was like, what if we did like movies, TV, and games all in one
games
episode?
And books, I think, were the 4 topics, yeah.
And,
so we've got 4 podcasts coming.
More to come for sure. But today we're only talking about movies because it was hard enough putting these lists together. Before we really
and again, these aren't our favorite movies of all time. These are 5 movies that kind of are personally important to us or have shaped who we are as people. So there's some bad movies on these lists. I'm not gonna lie. Like the one the movie I cut before we sat down was the 2017 Power Rangers reboot. All right.
Okay,
like,
no, don't you go saying that was a bad movie. That was not a bad movie.
I'm not saying it was a bad movie, but I'm just saying we're not going for like high quality blockbuster Oscar nominated films here. As I look at my list and think that the movies here might have been nominated in technical categories only.
List and I'm like, Oscar winner, Oscar winner, Oscar winner.
I'm pretty actually no. I think there's 1 Oscar winner and 2 Oscar winners, but one of them I think was for technical categories.
We'll get into all of that, of course, folks.
We will.
This is gonna be a long episode, y'all. Strap in.
I mean, I hope not. I want to have dinner at some point. Also, WrestleMania's tonight. I don't really care, but I also planned on making some. What?
You care about this one?
No, I'm saying I don't care, but I committed by buying jalapeno peppers at the grocery store a couple weeks ago that are going to go bad, and if I don't put cream cheese and bacon in them, I'm going to regret it. So I'm going to make a bunch of jalapeno poppers.
What's funny is
are we far enough away from the start of the show that the algorithm's not going to hate me for saying something stupid?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to
blow jalapeno chunks out my ass and enjoy a really bad 2-night WrestleMania event.
What's funny is I also recently bought jalapenos, but it's because I'm making chili.
That's also a good reason to buy jalapenos.
Let's top. Oh wow, words. This is gonna go great. Housekeeping before we jump in.
I just downed a peach monster, so like this is gonna be
I'm drinking
fun.
Coffee as we go.
I also had a cold brew this morning. This is not gonna be a good day for me.
Yeah. Housekeeping on the top of this. Hey everybody, thank you for listening. If you're listening to us on podcast services, we have a YouTube version. We have a YouTube version. We have the podcast version. I promise I update it. I promise.
Griffith's talking real fast because the coffee, but it's true. It's all true.
I promise I get to the podcast version and update it. I just get to it late. I'm sorry. I have to.
We should figure that out because I don't mind handling that if there was an easy way for me to do it.
It's really just the fact that it takes me 2 more steps than the YouTube.
I know.
It's pure laziness. I will be better about it. I promise, folks. But yeah, go check those out. Check out our shorts here or over on TikTok. We got some really fun ones coming up. We got some pin openings happening soon. And I'll tell you what, really sucks when you record a pin opening and the audio doesn't record. Because that's like $10 wasted.
It's not wasted. You can always do ADR.
I just traded the pin away.
That works too.
But yeah, check those out. There's going to be some fun stuff coming soon. And some future episodes coming soon. The next episode of the show, I can actually say now, or it might have been before this, we're kind of getting ready for some new movies coming out this summer, so keep an eye out for all of those reviews. The first one being The Devil Wears Prada 2. The movie that, who knew it needed
I still got to watch the first one.
I am only saying it may be before, we're gonna talk about the first one too. So keep an eye out for all of that. That said, Mitch, we normally start the show with what else have we been playing, watching, listening to, etc. And I do want to bring it in here, mostly because I put you onto an album and I want to talk about it.
You did. And it's weirdly taken over my life.
You sent me pictures of this the other day, and I was like, what?
Yes. Look, you send me the name of a hardly known band from Toronto, and you're talking from the US. And when it comes to Canadian artists, Toronto and the country in general gets really behind Canadian artists. Bare Naked Ladies, the Arkells, they're some of the biggest bands in the country. Nickelback is like a national hero. Maybe not as well known in the US or as well thought of, but they're everywhere here. And this seems to be another one of those bands.
Mm-hmm. So there's this band that I have fallen in love with called Good Kid. They recently released their album, Can We Hang Out Sometime? And y'all, if you haven't listened to these guys, you gotta listen. You gotta watch their music videos. Because they're kind of taking almost like a Gorillaz style with it of, we are animating all of this. We are creating a full world that is like being explored in these music videos. And that's how I found out about them. But the music is genuinely incredible. I adore these guys. I will be trying to see them in concert at some point.
I was trying to convince Griffin to come to Toronto to see him because we could get GA tickets to one of my favorite venues in the city for like $30 each. But the flights are a little pricey.
Yeah. And I'm moving right now. I can't.
Well, there's that too.
But I just wanted to mention it because I will want to mention Good Kids anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, they're phenomenal. I've after you put me onto the album, I've fallen in love with it. And I was on public transit coming home, took the streetcar past my favorite record store in the city. Shout out Sonic Boom if you're from Toronto. If you know, you know. Great new used vinyl record store. They've got CDs. You ever come to visit, we're going to Sonic Boom. It's one of my favorite spots in the city. But they had what looked to be like a vinyl mural up in the window, and I think it tied into something to do with Record Store Day. But even still, it was just neat to see, and seeing that album art on a window, I had to send it to Griffin.
It's also just great art. Like I need a poster of this.
It is. It very much is. Yeah.
So that's my recommendation this week. Is go check that out. Mitch, you got anything else before we jump into this thing?
Yes, actually. So I've in the past touted the need for us all to go out and support our local library systems. The system in Toronto, I would qualify it as world class because I was able to find copies of things there that are discontinued and not sold anywhere for less than like $150, $200. And those were two of the three, because I own one of the three, or I guess four technically, but two graphic novels in the Disney Kingdom series. Those being the Figment and Big Thunder Mountain Disney Kingdoms graphic novels.
He finally did it, folks.
They're real good, and I'm glad I got a chance to read them.
I have been saying this for so long.
Support your public library system. I'm very lucky in that I could just go online, find a thing I like I just did with three. So we went today. I took those back, had a great time, picked up Predator versus Spider-Man, which I didn't know was a thing, and that's going to be fun. And what was the name of it was the Guardian Devil, the Daredevil run from 1998, 1999, art by Joe Quesada, which was kind of the beginning of the Joe Quesada era of Marvel art and coming out of what looked like the 90s, written as the comic book debut by filmmaker Kevin Smith.
I was gonna say, now that I've brought this up, I'm like, yes.
I'm very excited to dig into this one, especially with there's a lot of Catholicism that comes through in this book, just based on my own research. And I'm on a kick right now because of Born Again season 2, where I needed to read something else. Daredevil and Guardian Devil is going to be it. Yeah, so
I just wrapped up Chip Zdarsky's run, and I'm like, I'm in all.
I was going to say, and then I got back from the library today with Guardian Devil and Predator versus Spider-Man, and I put in a hold for the next series of books that I want to read, and that was volumes 2 through 4 of Chip Zdarsky's Spider-Man run. So really excited to get those books. And like I said, folks, just support your local library systems. They have a lot of things there that you might not have expected. I have a great time going in there finding books for my son, and then I get to come home with a graphic novel or two once in a while, which is great.
Speaking of Daredevil, I want to quickly shout out Stephanie Phillips's new run of Daredevil.
I do need to get to that
is
when it comes out in graphic novel trade.
You're gonna have to wait because we only have one issue so far.
No, I know. I'm waiting like 2 or 3 years at this point. But the fact that we've already got the Chip Zdarsky volumes in my local library makes me really happy. So I don't anticipate having to wait too long once the volume comes out.
But Stephanie Phillips, fantastic writer. She's kind of bounced around a lot of Marvel stuff. She did the Rogue and Gambit series. She does the Phoenix series. She did Spider-Gwen. She was also doing Planet She-Hulk. And now she's the head writer on Daredevil. And this new issue is fantastic. I adore it. I was trying so hard to go to a signing for her this morning, and it didn't work out. Still salty as hell. There's another one happening, though, in May that I might try to go to.
As you should.
2 hours away.
Fantastic.
But it's worth it.
I mean, maybe consider that along with all your other things that you're doing right now. But you do you.
It's the day after I pick up the keys to the new apartment.
Please don't do that. I know what you're doing around that time. You're way too busy to go 2 hours away for a comic signing.
Anyways, folks, let's talk about today's topic. What we mentioned, 5 movies to get to know us. Now, Mitch, we focused it in on 5 because we needed to actually have a cap to the podcast.
We didn't want to be talking for 4.5 hours, and we might still anyway, which I really hope is not the case, but we'll see.
We are, though, coming into this with 3 honorable mentions each.
Oh, crap. Okay.
You had asked me for honorable mentions.
No, I know, but I didn't narrow that list down, but I've got it. Don't worry about it.
So we have our 5 movies and our honorable mentions. I figure we can go back and forth on the 5, and then we can just each say what our 3 honorable mentions are.
Well, I think we should start with the honorable mentions, right?
Oh yeah. I'll go ahead and kick us off because I think one of my honorable mentions is going to shock you, and the fact that it's not on my list. And that movie is Beetlejuice.
I quit.
Beetlejuice did not make it into my top 5.
Your whole goddamn personality. I gotta put my headphones back in. I can't hear you. What the hell?
I adore Beetlejuice.
Right?
But when I was sitting down to make this list, I realized that so much of that comes from the musical, the animated series, and the sequel. I love the original.
See, that makes more sense. It's the Beetlejuice universe of media. It's not just that original film.
Mm-hmm. I love the original film. I love this franchise as a whole, and Tim Burton in general. That style makes up so much of my personality. You are 100% correct. Beetlejuice just didn't make the cut. It was the last movie that I cut.
I will be surprised if we get into the top 5 and there isn't at least one Tim Burton film on there. I don't know which one it'll be.
There is no Tim Burton on this top 5 list.
I was really hoping it was going to be Batman because I would just love more opportunities to talk about Batman, but it's fine. It's fine. That's honestly it's surprising, but it's also not surprising because when we did a bit of preamble, we didn't spoil anything, but you mentioned you had a bunch of Oscar nominated films on yours. I mentioned I had a couple of nominated films that were probably in more technical categories. I didn't realize I would have 2 winners, but okay. The 2, well, I'm already here, so it's fine. So the 2 winners, one was a win for cinematography, visual effects, and one was a win for best original song.
Interesting.
Yes, best. Actually, no. So it won multiple Oscars that year, and I'm not going to give you the other one because that'll probably give it away.
One of mine is a Best Picture nom, or a Best Picture win.
One of mine is a Best Picture nom.
Okay. I'm just gonna go run through my other 2 here.
Sure. Yeah.
Number 2 is Tangled.
Again, what the hell?
Again, another movie that I love.
There's a Tangled Keyblade behind you.
Well, my background is also very heavily Disney because we talk Disney. Even though there's far more D&D stuff behind me than there is Disney stuff.
Yeah, but the D&D stuff isn't as apparent as like the Orange Bird Sipper or the Keyblade.
Yeah, that's fair. I adore Tangled. I really do. And it's one that just barely didn't make the list. When it comes down to it, like I think the things that I adore about Tangled, I also love in other movies, and Tangled is one of my favorite movies. It's just, again, like this, the way that Beetlejuice is number 6 on my list, Tangled is number 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one for me on here is a movie that I had to bring up, even though it didn't make the list, and that is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Have you seen this
What
movie?
a film.
Yeah, this is
What a film. I love. Have
incredible.
I seen this one? Come on.
Look,
Logan Lerman, Emma Watson,
Watson,
like
the other one that we don't talk
the
about.
other guy.
Yeah, I adore this movie as well. This is a movie that was like really pivotal to me growing up, especially in like my high school era. It's also a book that I absolutely adore, and kind of similar to Beetlejuice. I think of this more in the book form than I do in the.
Did you say the other guy because you forgot their name, or did you say the other guy because you didn't want to mention Ezra Miller? Because I forgot it was Ezra Miller in that
I didn't
film.
want to mention Ezra Miller.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was one or the other because I legitimately forgot.
I remember every little detail about this movie. I have
Yeah.
written papers about this story. It is an incredibly important story to me. But again, it just barely doesn't make the list. It's incredible and wonderful, and I love it. It's just a skosh under with the other stuff.
Mhm.
I've given you a chance to put together.
Yeah. No, I have them. I have them. It's not going to be as poignant as yours are, but one of them might be. So the first one is I got to get the year right.
Yeah, the year is important.
It is the 1995. We'll call it a cult classic because it's not good by any stretch. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie.
I was wondering if we were going to get some Power Rangers.
Look, when I cut the 2017 movie from my top 5 because it is a better film objectively, I have to give this film some credit just because me growing up in the 90s, Power Rangers is everywhere. Like my house is still full of my Power Ranger stuff from when I was a kid. In terms of my affection towards superhero stories, films, television, comics, you name it, all of that really does trace back to two things, and that's the 90s animated Spider-Man series and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So this movie is something that's really important to me, just who I am as a person. I can recognize it's terrible, but it also has some of the best music in a movie from that time that I can think of, which is kind of insane to say about a Power Rangers movie. And that I just wanted to bring it up for that reason, because it also was the film that introduced me to if I could find the actual goddamn track list. I mean, I know it introduced me to two of the best artists of all time, those being Stevie Wonder and the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I feel like that era of like, I guess nerdy pop culture movies has weirdly good music.
Well, like it had a cover of Higher Ground, one of Stevie Wonder's best hits, by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which to this day is on every one of my like favorites playlists. But it had The Power by Snap, Free Ride, Dan Hartman. Like it was really good. And I'm glad this movie existed at that time, because I don't think I would be the nerd I am today without that movie.
That's fair. I definitely have some movies like that.
Now to move on to some movies that are actually good. Another movie that just missed out on this cut, and I know we talked about a few earlier, so I'm actually going to hit you with a curveball of one that I didn't mention. And that movie is The Lion King.
Yeah, I am very surprised that Lion King is not on your top 5.
Like that movie means a lot to me. I grew up, it's probably my favorite of the Disney animation, like the revivalist era, the early to mid 90s. It means a lot to me because I also it was one of the films that I saw when they re-released it in theaters. I believe it was my 5-year anniversary with Carmen. So it's just one of those things that's just been a tentpole in my life, not just the film, but the stage play as well, the musical. As a kid, meant to see it as a gift from my grandmother. She passed away, so she couldn't come and see it. So like it's got that sentimentality to it as well, just this property in general. But that movie is one that's really special and important to me. And the third is Up.
I thought for sure that would be like 1 or 2 on your list.
It flip-flopped. There's another movie there that I think is more important to me, but I think over time it will shift from that film to Up, just as someone who is or has been. Oh God, it's been almost 6 years now that I've been married. So just the idea, the theming around marriage and friendship and how you could lose yourself and regain your humanity both through loss and through gaining something after that, that life doesn't end with loss, like just means a lot. Hi. Speaking of. Hi, buddy. So yeah, Up is one of those movies that I can throw on at any time, and it's still going to make me cry every time I watch it. The married life montage is one of the most emotional scenes in all of cinema, and you can quote me on that.
Yeah, Up is one of those movies for me where it's like, it is a movie I will turn on. And I'm like, yes, this is background noise, and then I'm sitting 30 minutes later crying my eyes out.
And you've made popcorn, and all the laundry is sitting unfolded on your bed. I've been there more than once.
Oh yeah, it is incredible. And that's our honorable mentions, Mitch. Movies for both of us that I thought would be on our lists. If I'm being
I mean, Power Rangers is one that I thought was a bit of a cut. People don't really think back to that movie, but other than that, yeah, I was honestly shocked when neither Up nor Lion King made my final list. But there are reasons for that, and we'll get into that in a minute.
Mhm. Which brings us now to number 5.
Now, did you order yours? Because I did not.
I ordered mine in the way of I was just keeping track of the number of movies.
So I ordered mine by release date.
Oh, that's really fun.
So I don't know if you want to go old to new or new to old. I kind of want to do old to new just based on where my list is, but I'm open to the reverse order.
I will respect yours doing that. I do have.
You do whatever you want.
want
I'm
to
going
finish mine
oldest
off.
to newest. I just think it's going to make for the most interesting conversation as well.
Okay, in that case, hit me with your oldest.
It's not going to be a surprise because if the nostalgia-filled fervor that is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie didn't make the list, then Pokemon the first movie absolutely was.
I knew it. I knew it was here.
Look,
It was
Pokemon
almost on
is
my
core to
list,
who I
too.
am as a human being. So there was no way we were getting through something like this without me mentioning either this, Detective Pikachu, or any of the other, 20 or so. I'm actually going to go and look.
How many Pokemon movies are there at this point?
That's what I was going to look.
I'm gonna guess like 27.
It doesn't look like it's that many.
No, it feels like that many. He's now counting the list on his screen.
No, I was, but trying to count from the sarahb.net page was not easy. So it's just going to be easier to go to Wikipedia list of Pokemon films. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I've got 23.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, because this is only the animated films and does not include Detective Pikachu.
Yeah,
so 26.
Okay, so I was close.
You were very close. But yeah, of those 26 films, the one that I have, like for very obvious reasons, I actually went back and forth on whether it was going to be the first movie or the CG remake. And then I went to Google and looked at a screenshot of that and threw up. So absolutely, it's that original 1998 Pokemon, the first movie. My Ancient Mew TCG card is somewhere in my parents' basement. This is a movie that I think I skipped out on school for. I saw multiple times in theaters, which was not a thing for 6-year-old Mitchell. So for me, this is one that similar to Up, you throw on any of those first 3 movies, which I own on Blu-ray because of course I do. I could throw on any of those as background noise, and then I'm sitting watching it for an hour and a half, and I'm having a great time with it. So for me, there's just so much nostalgia baked into those films, especially that first one.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that first one is absolutely iconic. It was never mine. Mine was more Pokemon Heroes, Destined Deoxys era.
Yeah, because you're a child,
child.
and I'm not.
Which is funny because I have older movies on here than you do, apparently.
Yeah, Pokemon the first movie is the oldest movie on my list.
I love this movie so much. I mean, this is
Jurassic Park was really close.
You mentioned like with Up, right? Of like it's one of those movies that just makes you cry. This movie still makes me cry. Pokemon the first movie still makes me tear up.
It can get me in the right moment, but it's not one of those that I watch for the emotion. It's one that I watch for the nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's your first one, Griffin? Hit me.
My first one for you, I will respect this and give you also my oldest.
Okay.
Which is also my best picture winner.
Okay.
And that is
Pokemon the first movie is not out here winning any Oscars.
Let's go from a very very different vibe. than Pokemon the first movie, and that is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay, see, I've actually never seen this movie.
You have to watch this movie.
I know.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, based off of the book written by Ken Casey, releasing in 1975, directed by Milo Forman. I mean, this is kind of an iconic movie. It was Jack Nicholson at his finest. But this movie, I think, holds a very, very special place for me, specifically for my time in high school. Because this movie was shot in Oregon.
Okay. Of course.
At the Oregon State Hospital. I forget the actual name of the hospital now. Because the hospital is actually still in operation. But back when I was in high school, we read the book in our English class. Then we watched the movie, and then we went out to the actual hospital and did hearing out there.
That's awesome.
And they've kind of adjusted the hospital a little bit to be part museum, teaching, not necessarily museum, but educational.
Like teaching hospital almost?
No, like educational for different forms of therapy.
Oh, okay. See, we had field trips like that in school, but it was like to the place where they shot X-Men, which is not nearly as interesting.
No, this is a really fascinating trip for me. Like, it definitely informed a lot of, like, especially what I think of when it comes to, like, just how different humans are treated in different situations. Oh, hi, Owen.
Yeah, this is one that has, like, and again, you and I having this conversation has been one of those things of there's such a gap in my film knowledge that I'm now making the list of the movies that I need to watch, and this is going at the top.
Oh yeah,
anything you mentioned that I have not seen is going to be something I watch, I would say, by the end of the year. I'm not going to be that bold to say by the end of the month, but end of the year, I think, is where my target's going to be.
I will say that this is not an easy movie to watch. It is hard. It is brutal. It is horrifying. But I think it is one of the most important stories I've ever witnessed. It is truly an incredible movie.
Yeah, someone won't let me put him down, so Owen's joining us at least until Mom comes to get him. Please don't break the keyboard.
You want to take a break?
No. I'm trying to find the off switch so he can play with it.
That's right.
I do your thing, kid.
I'll jump
in.
I
can go in with my next one. I can roll with the punches, man. I'm good. My next one, I don't think is going to be a surprise to you, but is something that might be a surprise to others, and that's Office Space.
Yeah, that is a good choice.
The Mike Judge written and directed dark comedy about office workers who are either trying to steal from their company, are fed up with their lives, have to go through hypnotism in order to get through their workday, filing TPS reports away. There is so much about this 1999 cult classic that is so relatable even today. I quoted this movie to my boss on Friday. There is just so much about this that, especially working the way I do, and that I'm a bit of a workaholic, there's so much relatable about this entire experience that Ron Livingston, all-timer performance, Jen Aniston in one of her, I would say, stranger roles, because she's still, like, Friends is still the biggest thing in the world, and then she goes and does this, like, budget comedy from a writer that's known for King of the Hill. Like, it doesn't seem like the fit doesn't seem there, but Gary Cole's phenomenal. There's just so much to love about this movie. And this is one that I go back and quote regularly. And to this day, on my bucket list, and now that they exist, there's those, like, destroy thing rooms, like the destruction rooms or whatever. I really need to destroy a printer or a fax machine. Yeah, but yeah, just so much about this movie that I love. The Michael Bolton joke never gets old, even though it should. And yeah, there's so much to love about Office Space that I continue to go back to this one regularly. It's probably a once a year watch for me because it's still just so relevant today. There's something about what Mike Judge has put together in his filmography that just is so timeless and relatable.
Yeah, it's a movie that I need to properly start from beginning to end because I have seen every single bit of this movie, but I have never actually watched it sequentially.
We're
this
gonna do
movie.
an episode of the podcast on it. I think we should honestly do an episode of the podcast on all of these at some point.
Oh yeah, definitely. Maybe not One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but
No, why
the
not?
rest of them for sure. Let's jump into my number two, my next one here. This is probably my weirdest one, or definitely my most Griffin choice here. And that is a movie from 2007 called Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium.
I am aware of this movie. I think I've actually seen this.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It was, for all intents and purposes, a box office failure. If you look up Zach Helm, this man has directed 3 things in movies. It's a very, very strange movie, but I think it's one that's really, really spoke to me. In terms of imagination, dreams, how we work with other people. This was the movie that, as a kid, for me at least, that really got me to like, oh, what are the Muppets? That's right. This is the movie that got me to go sit down and like actually watch all the Muppet stuff. Just because there's a Kermit cameo in it. Like, there's so much happening in this movie. There's a song in it called Love the World You Find by the Flaming Lips. And it's one of my favorite songs ever. There's so much about this particular movie. It's Dustin Hoffman, Jason Bateman, and Natalie Portman. This is what made me fall in love with Natalie Portman. Like, there's so many fantastic, amazing things about this movie that ultimately come down to magic is very much a real thing in our own reality, but it is that connection between people. And it's something that I still believe in to this day.
This is one of those movies, along with something, I mean, probably once it gets a little older, but something like Jumanji or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or I guess more likely Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because that's the better film. Just about the wonders of life and magic, and that magic is all around us. Like, this is one of those ones I want to put in front of Owen once he can kind of get a grasp on it, because you want to encourage that kind of imagination, that kind of imaginative play. And this is a movie that's really good at bringing those sort of themes forward and front and center, similar to like a Mary Poppins and things of that nature, where, yeah, absolutely an all-timer, even though it might not have performed very well. It's definitely one of those ones that
did not perform well.
I really enjoy.
This is the quote-unquote worst movie on my list, right? Like, it did not do well. The director himself, like, disowned the film. Like, it is, as far as you look at the historical context of it, it's like, oh, this movie sucked. But for me, it was also one of those where it's like, this was the DVD I had as a kid. I still own this DVD. But it really is the big thing of it's like this character who, with Natalie Portman's character, who is like in her mid to late 20s. I don't actually remember. No, she's turning 30, I think is what it was. And it's like still struggling to follow her dreams, working at this weird little toy shop in New York. She's trying, and she's realizing all the wonders of imagination and seeing things like a kid and having that. And like, as for me, where it's like the job that I have is very, very much creative, having to hold on to that. It is something I think that taught me that at a very young age of, no, you grab onto this feeling you have of being a kid, of this wonder and imagination as to what the world can be, and you hold that with everything you've got.
Yeah. Along those lines, and I'm going to throw a curveball at you because I'm a jerk. A fourth honorable mention in a very similar vein of just like a DVD I had as a kid that was one that got way more play than it had any right to is the movie Grind.
I
don't know if you have never heard of this. This stars, this is going to blow your mind. Adam Brody, Mike Vogel, Jennifer Morrison, Bam Margera, features cameos from Stephen Root, Christopher McDonald, and Tony Hawk, or
What is okay? I
Tom
have to
Green.
watch this movie. Damn.
You do, but it's terrible. But it is one of those terrible movies where it's just like a group of kids form their own skateboard crew because they want to go to these skate events and like participate and like get the girl, all this weird stuff. But like, it's one of those ones that we watched on repeat. The soundtrack is phenomenal. It's the movie that introduced me to Poison because there's a whole bit with Nothing But a Good Time that I absolutely love. But yeah, it's another one of those movies. It's a terrible movie, but it is one that I could watch and quote to this day. So I totally align with how you feel about Mr. Megorium with a film like Grind.
Yeah, Megorium, I think it's so incredibly special to me. And I love this movie, man. I could talk about this movie for days.
Yeah, and you know what? Just because I said it, and this isn't an honorable mention. Grind is one of the top 5. It's gonna bump something from the list.
No, we keep it as an honorable mention so we can go through the rest of them because we're going through this faster than I thought we would.
Okay, well, it was gonna bump the next movie, which is the Oscar-winning film, or one of the Oscar-winning films. This was a nominee for sound editing, sound mixing, and the winner for Best Achievement in Visual Effects at the 2005 Academy Awards. And that film, to nobody's surprise, Spider-Man 2.
We had to talk about superheroes at some point.
It's not even that we had to talk so I flip-flop between this or The Dark Knight, and this is the one that ended up landing on my list because for me growing up, it was Spider-Man animated, Batman animated. Those things were central to my life. Batman animated, then transitioning into Justice League, Teen Titans, even something like Static Shock. But like all of those things were so relevant to me growing up that then seeing that move into live action or into feature film with something like Spider-Man, and I would say being perfected with Spider-Man 2, is for a young me something I never thought I would see. Because for me as a kid, it was these things are kid things, and now this is something that's being presented as adult. It's being presented in the theaters alongside some of the greatest films of all time, and it's something that people are really vibing with, which is amazing. So I got that moment there that other folks then ended up getting later on with something like the MCU. So for me, Spider-Man 2 is my Iron Man 2 moment where, oh my God, they're actually doing this and they're sticking with it.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit before recording, but for me, it's always going to be Amazing Spider-Man. Always going to be Andrew. But I mean, it all goes back to those movies, right? Like those movies are why superheroes are what we have today, and Spider-Man 2 will always be a classic in that regard and have some of the greatest Spider-Man moments in film history.
Well, just Alfred Molina giving one of the all-time performances as a villain in that movie is just the fall from grace that Octavius goes through in that film. I don't know if they can get to that point with Otto Octavius in any other Spider-Man medium. So I hope they don't try. Honestly, like Alfred Molina is my Doc Ock, and it'll always be that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Alfred Molina to this day is still the greatest rendition of Doc Ock.
That's why they brought him back for No Way Home.
Mm-hmm. Second to that, probably the video game.
I would say the video game is definitely up there, but like, yeah, for me, it's never gonna.
That comes close. The comics don't even do it as well as they did.
No, I don't think they do. And I kind of hope we do get a run at some point. There is a writer that takes a run at the Doc Ock Spidey origin, does something slightly different than the game, but that is a story that I would love to see fulfilled in comic or even in animation. But yeah, it's unmatched in film or television with Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that is an incredible pick. I love that pick. Let's I mentioned him. Let's keep talking about Andrew Garfield. Because the next pick on my list is Tick, Tick, Boom.
I was going to say, there had to be a musical here at some point. I missed them. So you had to have a couple.
Is anyone surprised? This is one where I'm like, I was looking back at like Academy Award winners. I'm like, surely he won for Best Actor that year. No, he did not.
No, he ended up winning for Hacksaw Ridge, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, he should have won for this. I look back and see what he was up against. He was up against some great names.
He should have won, but musicals very rarely hit at the Oscars unless you're La La Land.
True. Tick, Tick,
Which
Boom.
I honestly, hot take, didn't like that movie.
La La Land?
Didn't like it.
That's another conversation to be had.
Yeah.
Because you're wrong.
Sure.
Yeah, Tick Tick Boom is incredible, right? Like, it was one of those movies that it came out. Netflix just dropped it, right? Like
Yeah.
there was no fanfare. It was just out.
There had been some buzz, like there'd been some trailers out, but yeah, it was one of
But,
those
like,
things where Netflix just like, yeah,
they
here,
put
well,
trailers
they
out,
put
but
it
none
to
of them
theaters,
caught.
like,
No one cared.
no, but like they did drop it in theaters so that it could be eligible for the Oscars, because this is still, again, this is one of those things where that's probably another reason why it didn't win with the Academy, is because we were still in that era of like, is streaming Oscar worthy? Is it not? Blah, blah. But like, this was probably one of my favorite musicals of the last decade, if not my favorite. So yeah, I'm totally with you here. It's
Yeah,
it's such a good performance,
and the reason it didn't win is because it came out the same year as Steven Spielberg's West Side Story.
which isn't very good.
It's an incredible musical, though.
It's a great musical, but I would say this tops it in terms of theatricality.
This is the movie that still makes me believe in Lin-Manuel Miranda. That this man needs to do more directing. Like, I loved this. I loved In the Heights. Like, the man knows how to make a musical flow on screen. Because there's not a moment of rest in this entire movie, and there does not need to be, because it keeps you in that sit with it and think with it for the entire movie. It is perfectly paced. It's well done musical. It is some of the most fun music. It's the story of Jonathan fucking Larson, like a man whose work informed pretty much my entire childhood. Like,
Rent is just one of those plays, right? It's one of those musicals that it is on the Mount Rushmore of Broadway.
Yeah, it's one of the Rent is one of those things in, like, of if you grow up a theater kid, you love this.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't grow up a theater kid and I love it. So
it's like, how many minutes in a year? I can rattle it off immediately. It is genuinely a thing of, I adore this. I think Andrew Garfield in this movie in particular is incredible. Like, mentioning like Spider-Man a little bit, you can see a little bit of that in there, of this incessant need to do something. And that, I think, is why this movie hits for me, is Jonathan Larson's incessant need of, I have this goal, I have to accomplish it. I have to finish this project. I have to get this to Broadway. I have to get something to Broadway. And
I'm honestly surprised, looking at the list of nominees, that Lin-Manuel Miranda was not nominated for the Oscar for Best Director that year. Like, he should have been, legitimately.
Oh yeah, the 2022, or this was the 2022.
This would have been the 22 Oscars. Yeah. So the directorial nominees were Jane Champion, who won for The Power of the Dog, rightfully so. Kenneth Branagh for Belfast, who should have been nominated. Ryusuke Hamaguchi, Paul Thomas Anderson, and Steven Spielberg. Which, love Steven Spielberg. I don't think West Side Story was it.
Mm-hmm. That was a really fun episode to do, because I was the only person that likes it.
It's not that I didn't like it. It's that I didn't get the hype.
I mean, it's really just that it's West Side Story.
Dude, he lost to Will Smith?
Yeah. It still upsets me.
I should watch that movie.
What, King Richard?
Yeah, so I can actually pass judgment, because I can't do so.
I will say, he is incredible at it.
I'm sure he is, yeah.
He's just not as good as Andrew was in this.
But the thing is, if he, even if he didn't beat out Will Smith, I don't think he was beating out Denzel that year.
Yeah.
Macbeth, like,
if Will Smith beat him, Andrew could have beaten him.
I don't know, man.
No, but bringing it back. Talking about
sorry.
Like, there's a couple of songs in this that still hit, like 3090 hits. And like, this is a movie I think that's in the last 5 years, like, holy shit, this movie's been out for 5 years. This movie just resonates more and more and more. And the story of Jonathan Larson, I think, resonates more and more and more for me. Like I mentioned with the Mr. Megorium stuff of, like, working in the creative industry.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't an easy process. It is not an easy process to get into this stuff.
It's not an easy process here. We see it. We see the struggles. We see the hardships. Yeah. Like, theater is not, It's not for the faint of heart,
Mhm.
but so much about this resonates for anyone who's tried to aspire for anything creational
Like there's the
or
moment of
creative.
him him working at the diner. And I think back to when I was bartending, trying my best to
Anyone who's
have a
ever worked
job,
as a barista at Starbucks.
right? Like I think it's both incredibly relatable, but also one of those things that hits so much harder because I lived that.
This is one of those movies where anytime I see a clip of therapy, I just stop.
It's like, no, I can't handle this right now.
Well, no, it's not even that I can't. I stop and I stare because like there's just something about not only Andrew Garfield's performance here, Vanessa Hudgens absolutely blows you away in this film, as does what's her name? Oh God,
What,
I'm
Alexandra Ship?
Alexandra Shipp. Yes, thank you. Um, this whole cast is just kills it, beginning to end. And this was one of those movies that came out like tail end of COVID, where it's like, oh yeah, everything's just kind of dropping on streaming, and absolutely blown away by this one.
I mean, let's talk about like one of the best performances in that, and that's Robin De Jesus. Um, like his story, I love his versus Jonathan's like different ways of going. Of like, hey, no, I am gonna ditch all this because this is just a situation that I'm at. Like, I really love this movie. I think it's incredible, and there's always something new I can take out of it. I will probably continue to watch this movie until the day that Netflix no longer lets me.
I was going to say this is one of those movies that I'm actually kind of grateful was picked up by one of the streaming services, because unless they pull a Disney and just kind of delist it at some point, which would be a shame, it's always going to be there.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, I wish it wasn't Netflix because anyone else would let this get any other streaming service would let this get a really dope DVD run,
But not
but not
Netflix.
Netflix. And I need
Yeah,
to own
that
this
is
film.
unfortunate. This is one I would love to own a physical copy of, and that I don't buy a lot of physical movies, so that's saying a lot.
I own the soundtrack physically. I own a vinyl of this one. So
I kind of want to get the vinyl, but I feel like it's going to be harder to find these days.
yeah, I was saying that when I bought that, I was like at the peak hype of it. So, all right, Mitch, we got 2 movies left.
We do.
What have you got for us?
So I mentioned earlier that I flip-flopped on Spider-Man and The Dark Knight, and I dropped The Dark Knight for one reason, and that it is not the Chris Nolan movie that is most near and dear to me. There is another that takes its place that contains, I would say, and I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, and I don't care, the greatest twist in a film that you don't see coming, and that is The Prestige.
Oh,
The Prestige is a cinematic masterpiece that we don't talk about nearly enough. Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, had to get Hugh Jackman on this list. I didn't get Logan on here. I got Hugh Jackman in The Prestige. There's Scarlett Johansson, Michael Caine. This film is amazing, so much so that it got David Bowie to come out of retirement to perform as Nikola Tesla. There's just something about Chris Nolan, the way he writes, and the twist in this film. If you haven't seen it, you gotta see it because it's something. It's something else.
I have never seen this movie.
No,
I have never seen
how?
The Prestige.
All right, we're doing an episode.
My introduction to Christopher Nolan was Batman Begins,
which is fine, but this is my favorite Nolan film. Partially because of when it came out. Like I was a teenager at this point. It's a very coming of age film for me, just because of the time that it came out. But and we'll get that with my last film pick as well. Spoilers ahead. But no, I absolutely love this movie. He's had amazing works come out since with things like Interstellar, the Mind one that they do the thing.
Inception.
Inception. Thank you. But for me, it comes back to The Prestige.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm looking through his like filmography, right, and I'm like, I've seen almost all of this. I don't.
This was another Oscar-nominated film for cinematography and art direction.
Yeah, I really don't know how I missed this movie.
Okay? It's legitimately. It's on Disney Plus. So at least it is in Canada. We're doing an episode on this movie.
Okay, we will do an episode on The Prestige. I will add that to our list.
It should already be there. I feel like I added that years ago.
Yeah, but I also update that list and occasionally delete things we just never get around to.
It is not on the list, so we should definitely put it on the
I
list.
am actively editing the list on my phone right now. I'm putting it in between Office Space and JoJo.
Fair enough, because I want to do both of those. And I saw an update, so
we
you're
have
on
so
whole.
many-
You're so right.
We have so many really good movies on this list we really need to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things there that we probably won't talk about.
Oh, there's a few.
More
think
so
I'm-
on the game side, I think, than anything
I
else.
just
But
need to, again,
otherwise,
I need
yes.
to update that list. Okay, I'm moving us along.
Yeah. Next one. Hit us.
The next movie I hemmed and hawed on just about as much as deleting Beetlejuice from this list. Because there is one director, I think, who is the greatest director ever. Period. Full stop. I don't think I can see anyone ever making a better movie than this man. And that is Hayao Miyazaki. That is Studio Ghibli. I don't think that Miyazaki has had a bad movie. It is immediately like,
But before you say anything else, you know what I'm about to say.
just say it.
I've never seen a Miyazaki film.
I know, and it hurts me.
Make me watch one. Let's do an episode. Make me fall in love with these movies,
I'd like
please.
you watch this one.
Is this The Boy and the Heron?
I haven't had. It's not The Boy and the Heron.
Okay.
I
I've heard that is
this.
very good.
It
That's
is
why.
incredible. There are 3 different Miyazaki movies though. When I was hemming and hawing over this list, and
So it was either going to be that, Kiki's, or Totoro. So is it Totoro?
it is not Kiki or Totoro.
What the hell?
No, so the big ones that people know, yeah, Kiki, Totoro, Spirited
Yeah,
Away.
like that's just me coming in as a Miyazaki novice. Like those are the 3 I've heard I have to watch.
No, this is admittedly a bit of a deeper pull.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Spirited Away is one of my favorite movies ever. It's one
That's
of the
not
best
a
animated
deep
movies
pull.
ever. It's not. That's not the movie.
Oh, god damn it!
I was toyed with that one. I also toyed with Howl's Moving Castle. Again, one of the greatest animated movies ever. Where I settled on it for me specifically is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
I have not heard of this one.
Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is my favorite Miyazaki movie. Seconded by Grave of the Fireflies. Mostly because I'm a masochist and that movie will destroy you. Mitch, do not watch Grave of the Fireflies.
Okay.
Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is, I think, incredibly poignant in any moment, but especially right now. It is, like I said, one of the greatest animated films ever. Kind of the whole vibe of this is it's post-nuclear future that kind of tells the story of this pacifist princess from a place called the Valley of the Wind, who is kind of much more in tune with nature than most people, and is trying to stop a war and trying to protect her people. And it introduces some really, really key things to me and to just Miyazaki work in general. There's kind of a bit of like you're watching a Miyazaki movie and in the middle of it, it just quickly hits you with love is the only thing that matters in this world and war is the greatest evil that exists. Like, it is that in a story. And this movie, I think, hits for that as well as kind of the solar punk nature of it. Solar punk is this very specific genre. They're not incredibly big yet, but certainly getting there of like, hey, what if we took tech and actually worked with nature and worked to make our world better? And
I figured based on the terminology, it was like solar powered steampunk, but
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think this movie in particular does it incredibly well. The kind of crux of this one is that there are insects that are attacking people if they go into this jungle. And it turns out that this jungle is actually what's keeping everybody alive, where people actually think it's killing them.
Okay.
It is absolutely wonderful. It's got an incredible cast because this was a time when Disney was taking Ghibli movies and redubbing them for the West. So you've got the likes of Shia LaBeouf, Uma Thurman, Alison Lohman, Patrick Stewart, Mark Hamill, Jodie Benson. Like, it is an incredible cast. It's an incredible movie. I've been keeping up a poster in my head because I've been wanting to purchase it. But it's something that says you are a part of everything. And that is ultimately what this movie comes down to: is everybody has a purpose in this world to keep everything running, to keep everything alive, to keep other people well. And I think so much of my worldview and of just in general is support people, support the world, and support nature more than anything. And so much of that could be wrapped up into this movie. We're absolutely doing an episode on this, Mitch, because it still kills me.
I was going to say, it's on Netflix. It's easy to watch. I'm totally down. You just tell me when.
Yeah, do it. Watch it. Because it is incredible. I love this movie, and we will get into it another time.
Can't wait.
All right. I've done my Miyazaki rant. I've been prepared for that for a week.
I'm glad, because this next one is one that I am honestly still shocked we have not done an episode on.
Your final movie on your list.
This is the only Disney movie that made my list. And there's a reason for that. One, phenomenal film, Oscar winner, but not for animated film. Or no, sorry. It won Best Animated Film, won Best Original Song, and was nominated for Best Motion Picture at the 2011 Academy Awards. We're talking about Toy Story 3.
There's a very specific reason we haven't done an episode on this.
There is a very specific reason why it is this movie, and it is because this movie came out the week that I graduated high school. So that, paired with the phenomenal filmmaking that goes into every Disney Pixar film, plus the theming, the idea of growing up, losing touch with your inner child, having to move on, like loss. It's absolutely incredible. Now having a daycare aged child, I don't know if I can watch this movie legitimately.
Oh man.
Because I think I would just fall apart bawling at the screen the entire time, both for what it means to me and also now what it means as a parent of a child that could be going through very similar things in the short term with what Bonnie goes through, and then in the medium and long term with Andy's story. So for me, there's a magic to the Toy Story franchise that was lost in Toy Story 4. That being said, I'm cautiously optimistic for Toy Story 5, but there's a very special place that Toy Story 3 will always hold in my heart just because of when it came out and what it meant for me growing up. And literally the week that I had to leave the safety of what is a childhood into, teenage years with high school and all that, and really become an adult with going off to college and getting a job, getting a life. And now 16 years later, just gonna let that one simmer a little bit. 16 years later, there's still something about this movie. There's just a magic to it that I'm never going to lose respect for and what Disney was able to produce with this.
Oh yeah, this movie's, I mean, it's consistently lauded as one of Pixar's best. And there's a reason for that. Like, this is the end of Toy Story as far as I'm concerned.
We'll see if they can bring us back with Toy Story 5, but
yeah, like obviously they're never going to let that franchise die. It makes too much money. But yeah, that movie just hits. There's something about that. Both the side of growing up and also the point of acceptance from the toys. Woody's acceptance of it especially. That I don't think any movie has ever replicated.
Yes, but I'm honestly, out of everything this movie achieved, I'm most surprised that it won the Academy Award for Best Original Song. So Randy Newman won for We Belong Together, but there was another song that was nominated that should have won that award.
I can't remember what came out that year.
You mentioned the film earlier.
Man,
an acoustic version of this was my and Carmen's first dance at our first wedding, where we could not dance, and that first dance took place in a hotel room.
You've told me this.
It is I See the Light, written by Alan Menken from the film Tangled.
I was like, shit, you've told me that too.
I know I have, but it's been a minute. Like, honestly, good for Randy Newman, but it should not have beaten I See the Light.
Mm-hmm. Man, our last movies here feel very fitting with each other.
It really does. And I'm very, very curious to hear what your last movie is.
I don't think it's that surprising if you think about me. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's also animated.
Well, that was kind of a given, but I'm trying to think.
By another incredible director, Don DeBlois. Or Dean DeBlois, sorry. You might know him from a little movie called Lilo and Stitch. And to me, the greatest animated series ever, How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's tracks.
Yep.
This tracks.
And my final movie on here is How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Which is the best film in the franchise.
Yes, it is the best. It is. Tell you what, I was rewatching it because in the last week I have rewatched every single movie on my list.
I will tell you, I have watched none because I've been trying to watch The Godfather for the first time, and I've gone through 3 sittings and still not finished the movie.
It's been a really harrowing week for me because of watching those 5 movies.
Yeah, I honestly, I kind of wish I'd made the space to do so myself, so I'm glad that you were able to.
I also watched like 3 other Miyazaki movies trying to figure out which one I wanted to use.
Yeah, see, that's the problem, is if I had watched the 5 movies that I'd figured out last week, they would have been different than the 5 movies we talked about today. Like, that's just how fluid these lists are going to be. We're such film nuts when it comes to all of this that this list today will be different from the list tomorrow. It'll be different from the list 5 years from now. But tell me more about why How to Train Your Dragon 2 is the last movie on this iteration shortlist of our 5 films for 26. And we'll get to this again next year, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. This feels like we could do this one every year.
100%. 5 more films.
Yeah, the 2014 was a very impressive year for animation. I feel like this should have won Best Animated Picture, but I am not disappointed that Big Hero 6 won.
That's another one that I didn't even think of, but would definitely make some sort of short list.
I was surprised not to have Big Hero 6 on my list. No, I think for me, like, especially when it comes to like how much of a fantasy nut I am, like, it makes sense that I would love the dragons. I think unironically, one of the coolest things I've ever gotten to do is go to Epic Universe and experience the Isle of Berk in real life. Hiccup and Toothless's like relationship is so incredible to me, and that's not even the best part of this movie. Like it is his mom and his dad. Like that is the best part of this movie. Their reunion has me bawl my eyes out every time, and then just to immediately lose his father is heart-wrenching. Like, this is, I think, for me, right, this movie came out in 2014. Still kind of a kid. High school, but still. Like,
No, I mean, that's the reason why Toy Story made the list for me, is because of that. It is part of you coming of age and those films of that time. Like, okay, granted, only 2 of these films came out while I was in high school, but I feel like I watched Office Space is one I watched more as an adult than as a kid, even though it's an older film. But like, these are formative films for us. It's not that, the best, the worst, but like for something like this to have come out while you were in high school, it totally tracks.
Oh, 100%. There's so much of this movie that I take in, how Hiccup struggles with leadership. I think is something that's wonderful, and I love it. I love the different dragons. I love the Society of Berk. I love America Ferrera as Astrid, just consistently giving Hiccup shit, and like this incredibly wonderful, healthy relationship. That's one of my favorite things about the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, is that there are never any questions about this relationship.
No.
Like, we don't need that drama in this. That's not the point. Like, there's so many wonderfully incredible moments about How to Train Your Dragon, the franchise as a whole, the remake, the TV series, the video games. All of this I love. But more than...
And you want to know why you love it even more? It stars Canadian icon Jay Baruchel.
Look, we'll always come back to Canada somehow.
I can't if I don't, there's something wrong with me, okay? especially in today's climate. Anytime I can shout out and rep Canada, I do.
You're also making me think, I'm like, what's the last movie that I actually watched? I think
Of
the
Jay
last-
Baruchel's?
Yeah. I think the last thing he was in that I actually watched was How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World.
I mean, probably, but I mean, I loved him in. No, you know what? It probably wasn't that, because we probably did an episode on one of his films more recently than that, and that is Disney's The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah, but like that came out the same year as the original How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, you mean in terms of like
In terms of
theatrical
yeah,
release order?
theatrical
I
release.
see. Yeah.
But all of that to be said, like all that's wonderful and incredible. This franchise has some of the best music in movies ever.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like the training music for the first movie comes back to my TikTok like 2 or 3 times a month. Like
That algorithm has really hooked you. Yeah.
like it knows I love this song. But John Powell does such incredible work on this, and he's done so many incredible movies. Like there's so much happening in this movie, and every bit of I love, but also the thing I'm getting at here is like How to Train Your Dragon 2 being at the top of the list, because like my list is not numbered, but this is number 1.
Yeah, I didn't put any numbers on it because each movie was on this for a different reason, whether it be a director that I really love, being something that was formative for me, something based on a character or IP, with Spider-Man being my favorite IP of all time, or favorite character of all time, Pokemon being my favorite IP. So like there are layers to it. There's no universe in which I can order this list, because it's not a ranked list for me, right? These are 5 films to get to know who I am. So if you want to know more about me, these are the 5 movies to watch.
Yeah, I think for me the best thing I can say about this movie is that I hemmed and hawed over every single movie on this list, except for this one. This was the base of my list. This was the first movie I put on there, and it was the only movie that stayed there the entire time.
The saddest thing for me is the first movie that ended up on this list and didn't leave was Office Space. But again, that also has to do with the headspace that I've been in over the last 5 weeks, and this being front of mind to a lot of that.
Yeah, this is my go-to, right? Like I'm having a bad day and I need something. I turn this on.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. For
if
me,
I
that's
had the
anything that
ability
goes to the
to-
MCU. But you do you, right? Like
If I had the ability to, this wall back here would just be a How to Train Your Dragon, essentially advertisement. Like,
I'm honestly surprised you have not spent more money at the Isle of Burke.
Honestly, the only reason I haven't is because when I went to the Isle of Burke, I was very, very frugal. I was not spending money.
You're also being experience oriented rather than merch oriented, which I appreciate.
Well, oh no, I wanted to be merch oriented. I really did. Like I love that you're giving me the credit there. Don't give me the credit.
I'm trying to, but you're digging your own grave here.
No, I'm digging on purpose. The second I go, the only reason I don't is I also haven't been able to go back to Epic, because I won't go back to Epic until Annual Pass can go. The second that I go back there, I'm going straight to that fucking store.
I know you are.
I
Look,
will wear
if
a
we make
shield
it
the
back
entire
down
time.
there and we do Universal on the next trip, then I'm totally down to just watch you spend an entire paycheck at the Isle of Burke.
My family is coming down here at some point. I'm going to try to take them to Epic,
That'd be fun.
just so I can see how much merch I can get out of them.
How much your mom and dad want to spend on you?
Hey, Mom and Dad, I know that I'm in my late 20s. Will you still buy me Mario merch?
I want to talk about this on another time, because like going on a trip to Disney with my son's grandmother was a very dichotomous trip. I want to say, like, it was amazing. Don't get me wrong, but I was pleasantly and oddly surprised by many things about traveling with a grandparent, which I've not done since traveling with my own grandparents back when I lost my grandparents young, so I was probably like 10 or 11. So like, it's a trip, dude. So I'm hopeful that when your folks come down, they'll treat you like the kid that we all know you are.
Look, I love when my parents. Well, we're still trying to figure out details for sure, but it sounds like it's going to be Thanksgiving, so it's going to be chaos down here. But
Oh, it's gonna be busy as hell. But that's why, as long as you're not doing the rides, if you're just hanging out in the store, won't be as busy, right?
There you go.
There you go.
All right, folks, we did it, and we kept it close to an hour. I'm shocked.
Honestly shocked. Yeah.
Look at us. We're learning. We're figuring it out.
We're figuring out that 5 films is better than 25.
Oh, yeah. The original idea on this was 10 films, and that was a bad idea.
Well, no, the original idea on this was 10 movies, TV shows, games, and books, which expect episodes on 5 TVs, games, and books in the near future.
Yeah,
or
that's gonna be a
medium
fun one.
future. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Separate episodes. Separate episodes. I don't know. Books is going to be an interesting one because I haven't done a lot of reading as an adult. I've done a fair amount, but not a lot.
It shows the difference. I think books is the easiest one for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's not too bad. I'd have to do a little thinking, but it wouldn't be.
Not only do I have impossible. It is in fact ranked.
Okay, mine would not be. So I'm very curious to get to that.
That's just because I keep a running list, though. That it's easy.
Fair enough.
All right, folks, that's going to wrap up this episode. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening. Let us know what are your movies that define you in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, please give us a like, all the usual nonsense. And until next time, be good to each other and have a magical day.